Hey y'all, Scriptum Critics. I'm here to review Spider-Man Far From Home. So this is the latest MCU movie. It is a sequel, a direct sequel to Spider-Man Far From Home. Homecoming. Sorry. It stars Tom Holland, Samuel Jackson, Zendaya, Jon Favreau, Jacob Batalon, and Jake Gyllenhaal. It was directed by John Watts, who directed the previous Spider-Man movie, and it's scored by Michael Giacchino, who is fucking everywhere. You know, like you have a superhero movie, you have an action film. Get yourself a Giacchino on that. So the movie opens up with Nick Fury and Maria Hill figuring out what happened with some kind of cyclone in Mexico, and it's said to have a face, and it just took out a town. And we see that Quentin Beck, who later will be going by as Mysterio, is there, and he's seemingly fighting off the cyclone monster. Then after that, we get a very unexpected intro of hearing Whitney Houston and a tribute to fallen Avengers, but it's done all with like stock images and like crossfades because it was put together by high schoolers that go to Midtown High, which is where Spider-Man goes to in this movie universe. That was, when I first saw it, it was very jarring to have that jump. I wasn't that much of a fan of how they made intro. I thought it was funny once I figured out what they were doing. When I saw it the second time, but for the first viewing, it was just like, what's going on here? But yeah, they show the Avengers that have died in the past two movies. Peter Parker attends a fundraiser hosted by his aunt, and then he ghosts Nick Fury and doesn't answer his call. He begins to pack his bags, and he's like, I'm going to Europe with my class, peace. And a big question from people that see Spider-Man is like, who is Avenger now? Like, since Tony's out, and he was the big person that, other than Nick Fury bringing them all together, like he's the one that gave them structure. So, like, which hero is like, on the team? Like, they got so many heroes. Who qualifies? Like, we saw a shit ton of characters show up at the end of Avengers Endgame, just whooping ass. Who is on whose team right now? So it's very up in the air. Instead of being called the Spidey sense is called the Peter Tingle, which just sounds like he's pissing himself like a child. He gets on the plane. He wants to be close to Mary Jane, that's the girl that he has interest in. I find it very interesting that in the beginning, his friend Ned, very kind-hearted, portly friend to Spider-Man. He wants to be a bachelor. He wants to show off, and he wants to get a European girl. But when he switches seats and ends up with Betty Brant, who's the one that helped bring the tribute onto their the news of their school. Like they start developing feelings for each other, and like on the plane ride they became boyfriend and girlfriend, and they're very lovey-dovey in the most like ridiculous way possible, and very entertaining, very funny indeed. One of my favorite characters in all the MCU is Ned Leeds. I think he's very funny and very entertaining. So they go to Venice. Peter wants to make sure he gets this necklace for Mary Jane, and he's like, I'm gonna show it to her while we're on the Eiffel Tower once we hit Paris, and I'm gonna tell her how I really feel. Because for the most part, he's just been very subdued and quiet, and he's too afraid to say it at this moment. big water elemental dude attacks and starts wrecking shit in Venice, and like, oh my god, what are we gonna do? And Spider-Man has to like whoop ass without his costume, but it's very difficult because shit's just falling apart. The fucking cathedrals are, crumbling into the fucking waters where they have gondolas and shit. So it's pretty wild. Mysterio shows up, and he like shows up with his green smoke and shit and his big fishbowl head. He's like, I got this. Peter finds out that this is Quentin Beck, and Nick Fury has them talk to each other a little bit. He says that he's from alternate universe where elementals are a big problem, and they're like, oh, they killed my family. And he like has a ring. He's like, it happened, and it was just awful. Now, I'm gonna get to spoilers. You should know this by the fucking title anyway. But this is all like the elementals, him being from another universe. That's all a lie. And one thing that kind of stuck out to me is that he said that this universe was Earth 616, which is the main Marvel continuity, like this comic right here. Most of the canon was started to be established in the 60s. But problem is with that is that if you are uber nerd like me, then you know that MCU takes place in Earth 199999 and not 616. So if this was going to be an actual universe that he's talking about, he would say that one and not the one from the comics that we read in our Earth, whatever Earth we are. Or even if, in actuality there is a multiverse. But that's a whole nother conversation. As a matter of fact, Peter brings that up everyone looks at him like he's a fucking egghead and shit. But yeah, like Mysterio starts having a good relationship with Peter, shows him sympathy. Nick Fury gives Spider-Man some glasses that Stark wanted to be entrusted to Peter, and eventually he will put them on. So the route to go to a different city has been moved to Prague because Nick Fury's like, I need you. Spider-Man's like, I just want to be a kid. And he's like, fuck that. I need a hero right now. And he's like, what about this hero and this hero? He's like, no, they're busy. I need you. I got you. You got powers. I'm gonna drag you into this shit because humanity needs a hero right now, which is very interesting. It's very interesting pairing, like, to pick these different characters, and it's like, I need you, in that one. But you can do that once you move away from the big, team up of Avengers type stories. Like, you can bring other side characters from other franchises in the same series together. So moves on. He gets caught with this woman stripping in front of her, but not trying to get on. Just trying to put on a new suit that Nick Fury got for him to whoop ass. And this guy named Brad in his class. He is the oldest because he was caught in the blip. The 5-year gap where everyone was. Thanos snapped away. He was one that stayed, but I guess maybe he's not the best student. So he'll be probably 19, and he's just repeating a year or whatever. But yeah, he tries to snitch on fucking Peter for something he didn't do and tell Mary Jane. Peter stops that because he has new glasses called Edith, and almost has a drone kill him accidentally. You know how it goes. Drones accidentally almost kill people sometimes. It's what you got when you got a lot of technology. You don't know how to use it. That was a very funny scene to put in there. They want to go to all the kids want to go to the fucking festival, the carnival in Prague. And Peter's like, no, we gotta reroute that shit to make sure they don't get hurt by one of these other elementals that fucking Mysterio was telling me about. So they go to the opera, and everyone's like, fuck that shit. But Ned Leeds is trying to like support his boy. He's like, well, this will be culturally enriching. We have some cute banter between MJ and Peter, but he has to go and put on the suit and try to fight with this molten monster. And Mysterio like almost acts like he dies, but he's like just took in there long enough to defeat the guy. Meanwhile, Betty and Ned are on one of the amusement rides, and fucking MJ finds a projector, and find out this is a projector that Quentin Beck has been using to make it look like destruction and monsters are attacking when it's not. It's all lies. It's all fake. He's a phony. He's all movie magic, man. He has portable CGI. But yeah, like we see that like his group of like they got one person from the first Iron Man movie that used to work for Obadiah Stane, and he like made the barf, not vomit, like the holographic projector that Tony Stark uses in Captain America: Civil War when he's like thinking about his parents before they passed away and were killed by Bucky. So yeah, that was very interesting reveal. I was expecting that they would do some kind of like misdirect with his character, because I already knew he wasn't going to be the hero. Like, he's been the bad guy in comics all the time. I assume they wouldn't go too much of a deviation away from the comics. But I was happy with what they did. I love the reveal, but not something I was like terribly surprised about. The way that they do it afterwards, like we find out like Peter Parker tries to go find Nick Fury to tell him, oh, the guy that we're working with is a bad guy, and it turns out that's a projection. All of fucking Nick Fury is a projection. Maria Hill, the building, and we have the huge great sequence where Spider-Man is being trapped and he like sees himself in the snow globe, sees himself in the school, fucking Eiffel Tower, a dead, rotting Iron Man suit with fucking spiders coming out of it. It was fucking dope. That's definitely a part where the director could show a lot of flair. And it seems like Nick Fury has like caught him, Quentin Beck, but that was a projection. We got projection on a projection, nigga. And Spider-Man gets hit by a fucking train. And he's on the train, and he's hurt as fuck. He wakes up, and he's in a Dutch prison or jail, and he just kind of escapes because he has superhuman strength. That was very funny that the guard was wearing his stuffed suit mask. That's a common thing in Spider-Man stories. Is like a character, someone else puts on his mask just for fun because it looks cool. Happy is able to pick up Spider-Man because he gets a phone from one of the guys in this Dutch town, and the plane comes down and it just flies over and lands on these nice beautiful flowers. A very very cool looking scene, just having all the fucking rose petals fly everywhere. But yeah, like Spider-Man's still freaking out. He's like, "How do I know it's you?" And he like tells him something that only Happy would know. But yeah, like he takes him inside, and he just feels shitty because he gave up those fucking Edith glasses to Quentin Beck, and he trusted him. He's like, "You're the new hero. You're gonna be the new Tony Stark." And Quentin Beck is like, "Okay, I'll see you later." Haha, nigga, I got your shit, and I'm about to be the best hero that they want. I'm gonna trick everybody. I'm gonna be the greatest actor, movie maker for destruction ever. So you're like, oh, he's a bitch ass nigga. Who would have guessed? But one of my other favorite scenes in this movie is when Spider-Man starts dealing with Tony's technology left in the plane, and he like puts on the holographic gloves, just like Iron Man did in the first movie when he was making his suit, and he like has the suit made, and then Happy plays, Back in Black from AC/DC, and because Peter Parker is like a 16-year-old that's only so enamored with music that's older than him, he misconstrues it as Led Zeppelin, which just made me laugh my ass off when I saw it in the theater. But he finds out that the kids in his class, they all want to jolly old England. That they're in London right now, and he's like, "Oh, I need to save the peeps out there." Nick Fury is still like hoodwinked by Quentin Beck, and you see him with the suit that actors play for like motion capture and shit, and he just has like a soft plastic fishbowl head and all these different camera projectors and these drones with the guns. They whoop fucking Spider-Man's ass. At some point, a fucking car just is thrown into this man into another car. I'm just like, yo, he's getting his ass whooped on this fucking London Bridge out here. Like, this ain't no fucking joke. His suit starts getting scarred up. When he takes off his mask, his nose is fucking bloody as hell. Some of the drones go after the kids, and Happy, tries to protect them as best as he can. Eventually, Spider-Man whips up all the asses, and he's after Mysterio now. He has to close his eyes so he doesn't see the holograms anymore. He just, trusts his Peter Tingle, his Spidey sense, and he whoops, Mysterio's ass. He's very hurt now. He uses one of the drones to try to shoot at Spider-Man, and it doesn't, hit him. And another bullet, goes into Mysterio and eventually makes him die. Or does it? Maybe he controlled Edith to say the wrong thing. We don't know. My best get is that he's fucking dead. But they do give himself enough wiggle room to well, actually, that's not what happened. Now, one quick aside is something pretty much only I would enjoy, and people that live with me would enjoy. But he throws a Buckingham Palace plush teddy bear and just throws it to distract a drone. And when I saw this, I was like yelling in a high-pitched British voice, "Reginald!" And the reason why is because my brothers own one of those bears that's actually from England, and I would give him that kind of voice, like very high-pitched, happy-go-lucky British voice. And I just saw that, the same kind of teddy bear, and I just, I got a little, smile at that. But while all the destruction's done, he bumps into MJ, and he's sad that the necklace is broke, and she's like, "Oh, I like you," and they kiss a bit, and it's like, "Oh, that's cute." And by the time they get back to America, they're like officially dating, and she gets to be on his, hug him while they're like swinging through the city, and that was a cool scene. But the after credit scene shows that Spider-Man's been outed. Everyone knows Peter Parker Spider-Man, and oh my God, they got J.K. Simmons back as J. Jonah motherfucking Jameson. I'm like, yes, they did it. I laughed so much. A lot of it I didn't even hear what he was saying because I was just so happy and I was laughing like, that's amazing. And then the post-credit scene shows that Nick Fury and Maria Hill were Skrulls the whole time. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? And fucking Nick Fury just chilling on a holographic island with fucking drinking shit, and he's asking for his fucking sandals or some shit. I'm like, yo, this whole time Nick Fury wasn't Nick Fury, and there were lines here and there that didn't seem like Nick Fury necessarily say. Ultimately, the one where he says that he wouldn't trust not Maria, Captain Marvel, makes you think that in the Captain Marvel sequel, we're gonna figure out why there's like a strained relationship with the Skrulls or just Talos with her. So that should be very interesting. But yeah, ultimately, this movie has a lot of great shots. Just really good camera work, a lot of good transitions. It's edited very well. It's a lot of fun. I wish there was some characters I wanted a little more screen time from, some a little less. I wanted more jokes to like really hit me. There's probably about 5 jokes that made me laugh a lot. But yeah, overall, this is a very good entry in just not only Spider-Man movies but also in MCU. So ultimately, I do not feel disingenuous in giving it A minus. That's the same grade I gave to the previous one, and I like them about the same. So I'm totally cool with that. And John Watts and Tom Holland, Samuel Jackson, Jake Gyllenhaal, they all give very good performances. Jake Gyllenhaal, you can tell that he really, you can feel that he wanted to be in this movie. And Tom Holland, like, in my opinion, he is the best on-screen actor that has played Spider-Man. So kudos to you, man. You're killing it out here. As part of the Critical Critics, tell me what y'all think. I really enjoyed this movie. In peace. I love you.